normally wouldn't reread the whole email, but I do think it's important that you get all the details. We got this email from Ellie, and again, when it has to do with a loved one passing, obviously there's a flood of emotions, and everyone's going to have their thoughts on this, so we'd love to hear yours. She said, my husband passed away a couple weeks ago. He was a stepfather to my daughter, who he had legally adopted when she was 14. She's now 22, and I just found out that she recently filmed him on his dying bed saying his last words. She uploaded it to social media. It's starting to blow up. She never asked permission for this, and I feel like it's something that shouldn't be made public. My daughter tried to assure me that it's the right thing to do. She explained life is different than it was when I was younger. She thinks our culture has changed, that technology is just the way of the world. She said she doesn't want to take it down because it's her way of expressing her truth towards her stepfather. I feel different. I find it totally disrespectful. Am I out of touch, or is my daughter wrong? Ellie.
So everyone's saying that this is such a private moment, and it doesn't matter what age you are. It's definitely something that should have been discussed. You know, I agree with you, Melissa, on that one. Jamie had said, I held my grandma and grandpa's hands when they were dying. I took photos for myself. When my grandma took her last breath, I was focused on her, comforting her as she entered heaven. And that was my only focus. Your other focus should not be, are you pressing record? You know, are you uploading it in time?
I don't want my family to videotape me dying.
Yeah.
I just don't. I want to make that clear. I might get fired tomorrow and die next week. But if my family could go back and listen to this, don't videotape me dying.
Right.
I just don't think I want that. Ray, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. A lot of people are using the word exploitive when this email was read. How do you feel about this whole thing?
Well, it's total loss of dignity.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to be given the option of having your dignity kept until your last dying breath.
So you think it's pretty disrespectful?
Very, very disrespectful.
Can I ask real quick how old you are? I'm trying to figure out if this is a generation gap here.
40.
Okay,
40,
so
all
we have
right.
6752.
Hey, thank you, Ray.
Texting. They're in their 20s, and they think it's extremely weird and disrespectful. It really is odd to me to see what people choose to share on social media and what not to. Like, I love first day of kindergarten photos.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you should not share ever.
Randy, is this a way of expressing your loss, or is this disrespectful in your opinion?
I think it's a mix of both. I think I'm 35, and I look at it as I find it exploitive. I feel like she's fishing for sympathy. But thinking at 22, if you've known nothing but social media, I don't think she realizes, you know, mental health-wise, that that's what she's doing. She just thinks that's how you deal with hard things. You put them online and you have other people build you up.
I think you're right there.
Great way to say that.
That's the way I
so
thought,
true.
too, is like they just don't know any different, right? Like, and I don't want to sound like this old crotchety grandpa, but like, you know, that generation doesn't know anything different. Everything gets posted.
That should
or
be
shared.
a class. You know, when we talk about like what classes should be offered to middle schoolers, high schoolers to help them after they turn 18 and out into the real world, like financial classes and stuff like that, how to balance a bank account. It should be how to watch your social media because it will affect you in the future. When you go to get a job, people say when they're employers, they look at people's social media right away.
Randy, does it freak you out just a little bit that, like, you know, you, Kat, and I are all kind of in the same little bit of a generation that if we get to be in our 80s or 90s, that it might be a social norm that our grandchildren videotape us dying and post it on the internet? Does that wig you out a little?
Well, I think it wigs me out a little bit that I'm going to have to put that explicitly in my will.
Yeah, don't post me dying.
But then again, like okay, so for instance, I'll just use this because it's the only example I have. When I'm in Chicago at a Cubs game, I get a call from my sister saying, "Hey, Mom's not going to make it." We rush back, and we're at the hospital for a couple of days, and it wasn't something that like we looked through her will, you know. But I can't imagine one of my kids at that age going, oh, hey, I want to videotape my grandmother's last breath. Like there's something there that there's a disconnect for me. But I feel like over the next dozen, 24, maybe 30 years, that this is going to get all blurred again, like even more.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have the capability to do it. It might be nice. I mean, if it's not, you know, a tragic event, to have it to maybe look back on, but to put it on social media, I think is a step into making your dirty laundry public. Not that losing a loved one is dirty laundry, but that stays in-house to me.
Yeah, I
Call
agree.
me
I
an
think I agree with you.
optimist, but I feel like just like fads, fashion fads, things come back around, and maybe the preservation of people's dignity will come back around. You never know.
Maybe.
Like, what if this right now is doing so much like mental damage to kids of a different age that they're like, we don't want to do this. This is not going to be our
Could
generation.
be a reset. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Hey,
For
Randy,
sure.
thanks for your thoughts. I really appreciate you spending some time with us this morning.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks.
You too. Thank you.
The KCLD Playhouse is powered up by Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices, seeking justice for the injured.
I'm going to be super honest with you guys. A lot of times we have these kind of emails or, we do some OPP or some email stuff. Like, it's in one ear and out the other. I give my opinion. I bring you guys on the air and you give yours. This one made me think. I thought a lot about this, and I don't want to sit here and preach about death and stuff like that, but this one gave me a lot of pause.
This text is a big one. They do know better if they are taught. It's so true. This one says there's plenty of older adults who post crap. Amen.
Yeah.
There are so many people, and maybe it is just transcends all age groups, and they're just so needy and seeking attention from the public that they post weird things. So maybe just think about it before you press
If
post.
we didn't get a chance to get to your call, definitely text your thoughts to 251-1047. At the end of the day, I'll grab all these. I'll put them on a Word document. I'll send them to Ellie, and I'll let her know kind of what you guys think. But I appreciate you being part of the show.